Have you got it up, Hannah? Today is March the 15th, 2006, and I'm visiting with Cathryn Cluck, and we're going to share some of her experiences in growing up and some of her experiences as working with the services in the World War II. Okay, give me your full name, Cathryn.
What do you want, Cathryn or Cluck?
Okay, now, what was your maiden name?
McCartney.
McCourtney.
McCartney.
Okay.
Like the McCartney Oil Company.
Okay.
Although I ain't got no,
You don't have any oil?
no connection with them.
Okay, and when were you born?
October the 10th, 1919.
Okay, and where were you born?
Stark County, Ohio.
Okay, and what was your parents' names? Your dad's name, what was his name?
Walter J. McCartney.
Okay, and if you could describe your father to me, what would you say about him?
He was strict, a hard worker, a money saver. My mom was more of a money saver than him.
Okay.
She was like the bark on a tree.
Okay, what was her name?
Florence
Florence, and what was her maiden name?
Hindley.
Henley. Okay.
And the Hindleys came from England, and her mother was Welsh, and they all came from Wales.
Okay. Okay. If you could describe your mother, what would you tell me other than that she was tight, money tight?
Yeah, she was a good mother.
Okay. What was her
And she-
personality like?
What?
What was her personality? Was she a quiet woman or?
Yeah, she was quiet, and she made all kinds of good stuff, and she couldn't hardly see.
Okay. Her eyesight was bad.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
But she cooked and done all kinds of good stuff.
Okay. In what part of Iowa did you live?
Not Iowa,
Okay. I'm sorry.
Ohio.
Ohio.
I guess that was my mistake because I don't always
Okay.
get the words out right.
Okay. What part did you live? Where did you live?
In the middle part, I guess you would call it. Our post office was Navarre,
Okay.
but we didn't live close to Navarre,
Okay.
just like we don't live close to Rudy.
Okay. And how long did you live there?
Till I was 22.
22. All right. And what happened at 22?
I got in the service,
Okay.
and I was in there, well, till I got married.
Did you enlist in the service?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So you grew up there in that part of the country.
Yeah.
What was your earliest memory that you can remember?
My earliest?
I'm going to put you on the spot.
Oh, I don't know.
Okay. What was the fondest memory that you have of growing up?
Well, we lived in a place, there was no gas stations, no stores, no anything, just a little cluster of houses. And we lived close to a coal mine, but
Okay.
the coal mine had shut down when I was growing up. And everybody had kids, so we had lots of running buddies.
Okay.
And running, I mean running on your feet, not running in a car.
Okay.
You got to remember, they didn't have many cars, hardly any. And there was a man, he had, I don't know what kind of a car it was. He was a young man. And he'd be going about 20 miles an hour, and he'd come down through that little town. And everybody would holler, "Get out of the way, here comes Roy." And he was only going, I doubt, 20 miles an hour, but you could hear him.
Okay. So you remember that car, and you remember getting
I
out of his way.
remember, yeah, I remember that. And everything was dirt roads.
Okay.
There wasn't a highway no ways near.
Tell me your birth order. How many brothers and sisters did you have?
Well, I'm the oldest, and then I have two sisters, and then a brother. And my brother died 13 years to the day on the day my husband died.
Okay. What were some of the chores that you had when you were growing up?
We always had to wash dishes,
Okay.
and we had to get in the kindling. You know, we started the fire in the cook stove with the kindling. And, boy, if you didn't bring the kindling in, get your pants ready for it.
I was going to ask you about the discipline in your home. Who did
We
the
had it.
discipline?
My dad,
Your dad did. He was a strict man.
he was strict.
Okay. So he was the disciplinarian in your home, and he expected you to mind him when he told you to do something?
Well, my mother was the same.
Okay. What difference is there in the discipline of that day and the discipline of today?
What discipline is there now?
So you think it's a vast difference?
Oh, yeah.
All right, tell me about your home itself. What the conditions of your home? How did you heat your home?
Well, in sitting room, we never went in the living room in the winter. It was just too dueling cold.
Okay.
Unless somebody was coming. You know, when we knew was going to be a party or something, and that part of the house got heated. But we had a sitting room, and it had a big old stove, and everything was coal, nothing was wood.
Okay.
And that was one of them big old stoves like that, and then it come like that. And then it went way on, it had a big fixture on top. Now that we had to keep scoured and cleaned. I don't know why.
Coal's dirty, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, so's wood up to a point.
Okay. But how did your mother cook? What kind of fuel did she use to cook with?
Coal,
Coal? Okay.
shoveled in the coal and kept the kitchen warm, and my mom hung the clothes on the line, and when she hung them up just about as fast as she hung them up, they froze. And when we come from school, well, we had to take all them down, and we took them in the house and hung them on the lines we had stretched in the kitchen, and they finished drying. It was a hard life.
Okay. The winters up there are hard.
Oh, yeah, and cold. My mom would buy a chicken and she'd hang it on the clothesline. And boy, when we took that chicken down, it was blue.
Okay.
But you know, you had to do that. What else? What other way was there?
Okay. What about the lights in your house? Did you use?
We had kerosene lamps, and then they also had. Now that wasn't. I don't know what they burnt in that. It had It was a lamp with a big shade on like that, and it had mantles, they called them. They were cloth-like things.
Okay.
And they hooked them up onto that, and that's where the light come from. I don't know how that all worked. I was only a kid.
Okay.
But that's how we got our best light.
Okay. What kind of social events did you attend as a child?
Hardly any. The kids played together all the time, and when it got dark, why, you had to head for home.
Okay.
And
Were you in, did you live in close neighbors to people?
Yeah. But there was only a few houses, but, well, I could go along and count them on my fingers who lived in them, and
Okay.
that wouldn't be a very long list.
All right, what about your first day of school?
My first day of school, I wish I knew you was going to ask me that. I could have got out the pictures. Well, I don't know if I got them anymore or not, because I give all my pictures to my kids. But the first day of school, there was 8 grades, and we had one teacher and one small schoolroom.
Okay, and she taught all 8 grades?
She taught all 8 grades.
All right, when it was your class's turn to teach, how did she do that?
We had to go up to the front and sit on a bench, and she told us what she wanted to tell us, and when we were real young, she had a little chart about that long, and it was a little chart. You leafed it over like that, and that was your reading lesson.
Okay.
And you had to learn to read that chart
Okay.
from what she told you or what you could do at home.
Okay, were you a good student?
Pretty good.
Okay, did you get in trouble?
No, not much. Hardly ever. You know, when you got anything in school, you got it twice as bad at home.
Uh-oh.
So, you made it your business to walk the straight and narrow when you were at school or any other place.
Okay, was the discipline at school, you think, different than it is today?
Oh, yeah. That teacher could pick up a paddle and pour it on you.
Mm-hmm.
But she didn't hardly ever do that. You know, the boys in that room were old enough to get married. When you look at that picture, you think that some of them ought to be married.
Okay. How many in your 8 grades do you know? Can you guess?
Do I know them?
No, how many, what number was in your grades? Like, did you have 20 students or
You mean in my class or the whole school?
the whole school?
The whole school. Well, there might be 20,
Okay.
maybe.
And in your class?
Oh, maybe 6 or 8.
Okay. And you knew every one of them, and you knew,
Yeah, I knew them all.
okay. What were some of the games you played on the playground?
Well, you know, we had a rope, and 2 people held the rope, and these over here would run, try to catch these on this side, you know, that kind of, sort of a make-up game. You had to do your own thing.
You didn't have ball games?
Well, we played ball in the summertime, but, you know, no, not with any other school or anything, just choose sides.
Okay.
That's all.
When did the winter start up there?
On the last of October,
Okay.
it starts to snow.
Okay. Did you ever have to go to school when it was snowing? And
Oh, yeah, there was a neighbor boy. He was in the 8th grade, and he used to help me through the snowdrifts. You know, I was little, and he was big. He used to help me through the snowdrifts. His name was Carl.
Okay. So he pulled you out of the drifts and helped you over the...
Yeah, he helped me over the bumps.
All right, where did you go to school after you graduated that little 8th grade school? Did you go on to school?
8th grade, then we went to a high school,
Okay.
and we caught the bus then. We had to walk a half mile and catch the bus, and then ride the bus 3 miles.
Okay. You're in your teenage years now.
Yep.
Okay. uh, do you have a single class now, or are you still in one room in your high school?
Oh, in high school, well, you had different classes and different teachers. Nothing like that.